Just making sure. Alright, perfect. Looks like I am here and ready to go. Okay. So, hello everyone. I have gone live. The setup is still a little jankety because of the fact that I don't have the streaming camera yet that I've been wanting to do, but no worries, I am saving up for it. It shall eventually get to the point where I can take care of that. But I figured, let's start the stream. It is Tuesday. It's been a little bit. A lot of things happened last week that I couldn't make it, but I'm here now, so let's get started. So, first and foremost, I just have to say that today should be a pretty fun, relaxing stream with a lot of fun stuff happening. I've got a few plans for project stuff that I want to do, and I just want to make sure that it all gets done at the right time. So, currently, let's clear these off, because this is kind of just some holding things, and we can go over what I'll be working with. So, nice flat surface here. But before I do anything, guess what I got? Tea. Because you want a good tea when you're crafting, especially with the weather starting to get a little colder. It's going to make it a little bit harder to keep warm, and you'll want to make sure that you take care of yourself. So I've got some tea. It is the Twinings pomegranate and raspberry flavor. I like this tea. It's a very good tea. And I've already had this sitting for a little bit, so it should be basically done. It has rose hips, hibiscus, natural pomegranate and raspberry flavors with other natural flavors, orange leaves, apple pieces, licorice root, and roasted chicory root. It is compostable, and it is also kosher. And it's caffeine free, because I should not be having caffeine at this time of the day. It's 3 p.m. my time, so that would be a little too late for coffee unless I'm wanting to stay up all night. So I am just going to kind of get some situations done. Oh no, my cat's at it again. Let me move this off, because now we get to talk about the real reason that we're here, and that is crafting. Woohoo! Yes? You coming in? Okay. Just FYI, during this time of the day, my cat notices that I like to have the door closed while I stream. And she gets very particular about the fact that the door's closed, because she owns the house, right? So, let's go over some quick plans. So, plan number 1. I did it. I finished 1 square of this yarn, of this pattern. Look at how big that is. This is 17 rows of the square. 17. I still have to weave in the ends. As you can see, they're still out and about. I have to clean it up. And I'm thinking about blocking it to make it a little bit more melty looking, because it is acrylic yarn. You probably should always block acrylic yarn, especially if you're planning on using it as a wearable. This is actually the Soft Classic Acrylic by Loops and Threads. So this is a Michaels brand. and it is in the color Dark Taupe. I got this for the costume that I am making. For those of you who don't know, I am making an Eevee costume, where it's kind of an Eevee reimagined costume, where I am doing a dress that is going to be Eevee represented, as well as a cowl to go around the neck, and then I'm going to do makeup and just play around with accessories to make it look like an Eevee. So luckily I got a picture I can show you guys. This is the dress that I am planning on making. This is called, let me make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Asimetrinden Helma, and it's a Finnish, pattern, but it is a beautiful, beautiful dress, and it has this nice asymmetrical look to it, and it's pretty simple from what I've gathered. It's got but it's made primarily of a bunch of squares that you sew together to make the pattern. So according to this pattern, most of the squares that were made were about 15 rows. But as I was going through the pictures and the translate, trying to figure things out, I think it fits me better at 17 rows. So I'm doing 17 rows per square. So this is 17 rows. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 squares that I have to make, and then one kind of a square. It's going to look not quite like a square. It's going to look more like a odd not square. I don't even know what I would call that. But that's what I would be making at the end. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. But for the most part, I'm going to be working on this because Halloween is only like a month or so away, and I want to have this dress done by then. So currently, this is the current dress that I have, the current square that I'm working on. This is only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just 7 rows. So I just need to put 10 more rows on this, and then I'll cut it, call it good, and then I will move on to the next set of things anyway. So this is priority number 1. Next up is this black glove that I am currently making. I'm using double pointed needles, and currently I am making the ridges of it. This is a project that my partner is having me work on as a surprise gift to a close friend of theirs. And I have some time before I have to worry about making it, but we don't know exactly what we are going to be. Oh, do you see the kitty? Oh my goodness. Hi, baby. What's up, hun? Do you need help? Okay. Do you want me to open the door for you? There you go. Do you want the door? Is this what you want? Or are you just wanting to be all over the place right now? There we go. What's up? You can hop up if you want to. She wants to literally explore part of the bed that I have quarantined off because I wanted to put stuff there and so it's out of frame. And now she's like, let me climb on it. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Sorry. Trying not to distract too much with Cat, but she is kind of a lot sometimes. Are you gonna leave? Okay, I love you. No simple way for a cat. Absolutely not. So yes. So this black yarn, I am currently making yarn, this glove set for a close friend of my partner's who their birthday isn't for a while, so I have some time to figure it out, but they wanted to choose a glove pattern that is most like their friend, and unfortunately that means going through some variety of gloves to see what kind of fit they want for them. So I am currently making a singular glove of this to show them the pattern that I found for the final. And it's this guy here. You can see it's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's this pretty glove here. It's got all this really nice cabling throughout it and stuff. So I figured I would give this a try and see if I like it, and then we will go over that. The pattern is called, let me go find it real fast. It is indeed free in the library. I have to make sure I'm using the right name. I think it's called something like Naughty Gloves. Yeah. It's called Naughty Gloves by Julia Mueller. It's a knitting pattern, obviously, with finger weight yarn, with a stockinette stitch, and I am currently doing a bunch of things with this, so we'll see how this goes. But this will be the other pattern that I end up working on today. And then when I'm done with that, who knows, maybe I'll try to make another headscarf, because one of my claims to fame right now is these headscarves by Sunflower Cottage Crochet. And I am actually planning on making these to sell. I got permission from the designer to sell these. She's very lovely. But Sunflower Cottage Crochet, she makes a lot of really pretty patterns like this, and I love these headscarves. So I plan on making some of these, but I don't know yet if I'll work on them today. I'm kind of just going with the flow right now. I have two currently that are close by. I have more, obviously, but those are kind of the ones that I was focusing on at this time. So let's see. I think my first thing that I'm going to do, though, just because of timing and because of things I need to do and other stuff like that, I am going to start by trying to finish off a square of this moss stitch. I'm going to basically do this until I hit 17. I'll cut it off, I'll put it to the side, and then I will work on the other gloves until end of string. But for now, let's get started by taking a sip of this wonderful tea. Oh yeah, that's nice and flavorful. I'm going to pull the tea bag out of that. I would love to know what everyone is drinking tonight, if you are also drinking tea. That is an acceptable option. You could also just be drinking water. Hydration is important, though. Oh yeah, that's good. So, since last we talked, I feel like a lot has happened, but I am really happy that it did, you know? So, last week, on Wednesday, I ended up having a really nice stream working on my TTRPG stuff, where I ended up with a lot of people that I wasn't expecting to end up with, which is amazing. Great chatting, working a bit. It did get a little distractible, which, you know, it happens, but hey, I'm just glad that it happened the way that it did. So, but if you guys can't see, I am at 9 followers now, which means I am 1 follower away from my goal of 10 followers, which is insane. I'm so happy that I am lucky enough to have the people that I do in my life to work with me and get this done. So it's so incredible to be able to sit here and see that number basically as someone, a no-name YouTuber or Twitch streamer. I am not on YouTube yet. I'm going to be, though, at some point. Getting some sort of work and stuff done and actually gaining followers, which is kind of crazy to me. I'm actually really happy about that. So it's kind of just a wild ride at this moment. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be doing things that I love, and this is helping me get through my projects, even if it's mostly just me talking to myself or talking to a couple of people here and there. It's a good excuse for me to sit down and work on these projects. Let's get some yarn out because it's tightening. Oh no, we got some knotting happening. Oh dear. Okay, let's see what we can do about this. Get this all fixed. There we go. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's looser now. I was wondering why it was so tight coming out. That sounded wrong. I apologize. There we go. Much better. So I'm just gonna plop it here while I'm working, I guess. Get that fixed up. Alright. Yeah, I'm very excited to be working on these projects, and this gives me an excuse to sit down and work on these projects when I might have to work on other things during the week or during the day today, and it gives me an excuse to work on this consistently while I am just trying to do what I need to do, you know. Woohoo! So, currently, it's been a lot of firsts for us this last week. We have also started homeschooling the child. So, long story short, the school setting was not for them in this regard, and with everything happening in life and other things like that, we made the executive decision that it was smarter to start homeschooling them at least for a year. So, a few circumstances have popped up in our lives that made this a smart move, especially with the state of the world as it is right now, and my kids' safety and health and other things like that. It just makes the most sense. So we're currently homeschooling them. Plus, with being able to try and move out of our current living situation, because as much as we're happy to be where we are. We also need to move into a place with more space, especially since my kid is growing up and needs their own space for the most part. And what we need to do is make sure that we get somewhere sooner rather than later. So between me and my partner, we've been working on that, which has been nice. And I'm doing this as a way to help with consistency. And if I end up getting to the point where I am able to make this work for me too, in more ways than just a stream that I can consistently do to help me keep on track with products and projects, then that is also a benefit. Luckily, I have some time to work on things without too much issue, so I am going to do so. Next corner. This is a very simple pattern that I found online. I have a video of it if people need a link to it. She also has a written pattern for this particular stitch that I'm doing, but the written pattern requires I think $3 to get the written pattern, but the YouTube tutorial is free. So my thought process is I'm going to work on this, and I'll probably purchase the pattern just to have a written pattern of it, because you don't know when that video might be getting deleted or other things like that. So I would like to make sure to support people that come up with these designs and tutorials on how to do things and stuff like that. And I know that she probably gets paid through the AdSense on YouTube, but it doesn't hurt to also give her a little of my cash, because the headscarves that I make are also a free pattern, but you also can pay for a written pattern of them. And I did pay for a written pattern, because even though it was free and I did it the first time with just the free pattern, I loved it so much I wanted to buy the pattern so that I will always have it, no matter if, say, something happens and the site goes down, or I need to print off these papers and stuff like that, so I can always have it regardless of what happens, if anything does happen. So it's just nice to have. I prefer having a printed off pattern or something, or like even if it's just a digital, just to print it off for myself. I always print it off for myself so that I can use it whenever. And I always try to, even if it's a free pattern, if I use it for anything or I'm find it to be a great pattern, I will always pay for it. Just because it's a rough world to be in as a designer, and it can be a lot to design and create these patterns and all the work that goes into it. So yeah. Currently, I'm just getting this done, and I am working on things, drinking tea. We'll see how many rows of this I'll finish. If I don't get to work on the glove today, that'll be okay, but I want to try to get as close to finishing another square as possible, since I probably will have to make 6 squares. So if I need to make 6 squares, I should probably try to finish making these by the end of September, so that I can work on the cowl for most of October before Halloween happens. And because of the busyness of the holiday and everything, I want to make sure I get it done earlier than later, so I'm not rushing till the very last second, but you know how it can be. It can be a lot. But yes. I'm actually excited. I haven't been in a proper costume in a very long time. I've been wanting to. I love dressing up for Halloween and stuff. Oh yeah, we did go to Ren Fair last weekend, which was a blast. We had so much fun. I actually wore the pink headscarf over here as part of my outfit to Ren Fair, which was so much fun. We all got to run around and have just a grand old time. It was so fun. This has only been my second year of going to Ren Fair, which I'm so glad that I was able to go the last couple of years, because I've never been to a Ren Fair before in that regard, and I love the community, I love the vibe, and I got so excited to be able to join, because it's definitely a fun experience for sure. So yes, third corner done. And yeah, what I'll probably do is once I finish with these 6, and then also the not so square, I'm probably going to just block all of them similarly, have them stretched out in the way that I need them to for wearability's sake, and then I will then either slip stitch join them or sew them on using more of this thread. I have lots of this yarn. I was able to get a whole bunch, so that'll be fine. I can utilize the yarn as needed. So far, it seems that for a square, it's almost a full skein of yarn. So, this is what was left of the skein from the first one. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to do something, at least. And for reference, this is a somewhat looser version. Oh my goodness. And then this is a full one. So like I said, it's not too much different. But yeah, this is a full one. So this one's a full one, and this was what's left after I finished 17 rows. So I'm going to probably wind this up at some point so that I have it. But I think that what I'll do is once I finish with these squares and stuff, then I will decide on what I'm going to do with the leftovers. But I'll probably invisible knot them together so that they are so that it's more cohesive, and then I will probably make another thing happen. So we'll see what ends up happening. I've got plenty of skeins though. Like I said, that I ordered this in bulk a little while ago, so I have plenty, and I need to order the cream ones for the cowl so that I can do that at some point. And I don't need as much of the cream, but I'm planning on adding a little bit to the bottom of the dress to make it look kind of like the tail, so that it's a little bit more cohesive to the vibe I'm going with. And then on top of that, the cowl. I might also make like a headband or a headscarf with the dark taupe to almost replicate the ears. And then if I didn't show you guys, if you can see on this dress, there is a like flower button here. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. There's a little button because it's a wrap dress, and so that you use the button to hold it together, right? But in this, it's a flower with a button in the middle. So instead of that, I was thinking, in order to keep it on the theme of the fact that this is representing Eevee, that I would do a little Pokeball there, because that would be adorable and fun. So I'll have to find some like red yarn, some white yarn, maybe some black yarn, and a button for the middle, probably a silver button or something, and that way it looks like a Pokeball. So that I can have a full costume going. And then of course I'll probably have a head scarf of some sort, to mimic the ears, and then yeah, along the bottom of the dress, my plan is around this spot. You see how it's asymmetrical and it goes down on one side over here? Yeah, the dangly bit that would go right there. I'm planning on outlining that part with the cream that will match the cowl. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll go well with it. And then maybe I'll do some boots or cute shoes. I'll probably go thrift something or find a way to make it match somehow with what I have already, and then it'll be done. 30 minutes in already. Woo. Lots of gabbing, lots of talk, and I'm sure I think 15 minutes of that was just trying to start on work, not even actively working. So if this is like 15 minutes, that's neat. But I'm almost done with the first row of the stream. I try to center pull when I can. I also I have a yarn winder, which I try to use to make cakes so that I can utilize those and save space, because I don't necessarily have a huge yarn collection, but where I store it is tight. And so I try to maximize my storage as much as I can by making them into cakes. And then once we move into a bigger place, from there I'll start considering more storage options on top of everything. It very much depends on where we're moving to next, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. But yeah, I try to center pull because it's so difficult to deal with a bouncing yarn skein, especially when you're on a tight schedule and you're trying to make things appear more neat and stuff. Just having it roll away from you was annoying. Alright, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3. Put that through here. Is everyone a fan of fall? I'm a big fan of fall. I like the colder seasons, just in general. I don't hate the hot seasons, but I have a tendency to be miserable during the hot seasons. because of a number of different things. Yay! That's 8 rows total so far. Sorry, I just had to take a quick sip of my tea. That's 9 rows left. Chances are I'm probably going to be working on this all night, but that's okay. That's okay, because this is one that has a stricter deadline than the other one, so I have plenty of time to work on the other one as needed. But this one, I have to finish this before the 31st of next month, so if I can get this done by the end of this month, I will be on track, I believe. Because if I can give myself at least a month to work on this, then I'll feel pretty good about that. It took me a while to get started on it, but yeah. I'm trying to work on this off stream too, so that I'm not just working on it on stream, but that's also part of my availability, you know? Even if I don't stream, I'm still trying to work on this a little bit. So, yeah. Let me check something. Let's see. Yeah. I would love to hear some plans on what people are going to be doing for Halloween, because that's always awesome to know what people are doing. I love Halloween. It's a fun holiday. Get to dress up, get to go have fun with it. As kids, you go trick-or-treating. As adults, you have to find the right places to go trick-or-treating, because you can't always go trick-or-treating, depending. I plan... Oh, hello! Hello, how are you? I love that emote so much. That's adorable. I hope you're doing well. I've always kind of thought that adults should have their own form of trick-or-treating, especially like young adults, where you can go and get like ramen and stuff. I actually never dressed up for Halloween, but really want to try this year. Yeah, it's been so many years for me. So I completely get what you mean. That's why I'm actually working on this, is because I am determined to dress up for the first time in a very long time. I am currently making a dress because I am going as... I'm going to be doing an Eevee costume, like Eevee the Pokemon. And I found this beautiful dress. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it's called the... Asymmetrical... I want to get the dress right, so hold on one second. Yeah, the Asymmetrinen Helma. It's a Finnish free pattern that is this asymmetrical dress, sleeveless, button, and in order to make it, you do a bunch of squares, and then you sew them together or slip stitch them together to make the final pattern, and then you wrap it around your form. And so I'm doing an Eevee one. Oh my goodness, did you follow? Thank you so much. You helped me reach my 10 follower goal. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Oh, this is incredible. Thank you. It's a coat to check, right? Okay. Looks cute, but I don't really crochet. That's okay. I also knit on this channel too. I do other sorts of yarn crafts and things like that too. So, what kind of crafts do you like to do? Oh, yay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for following. I'm so excited. Welcome to the community. I'm still new to everything, so I will be building it up for more cool benefits and stuff. But you are welcome to throw in suggestions and interact as much as you want. But yes, do you do any specific yarn crafts or sewing or any sort of other types of creation, especially with your hands? All types of crafts and art and other creation aspects are welcome during this time. I'm so excited. Yes, this is gonna be... I recently tried clay pottery. Ooh, I love pottery making. I've never actually been able to make pottery, but I love ceramic works and clay works and other things like that. That sounds fantastic. Are you currently working on clay pottery, or are you doing other things at this time? Not really, just trying out different things from time to time. Hey, that's valid. That's absolutely valid. I understand that. Especially because there's so many varieties that you can do. There's not really a loss of being able to do things. It's more so what things can you do and what things do you want to do. But you always have options. That's awesome. The world is your oyster. And that allows you to put effort into things that sound really, really good to you. And if you're not married to one particular kind of craft, then that is also awesome, because that gives you the ability to just kind of go back and forth. While for people that have a tendency, like for me, I have a tendency to get really invested in the crafts that I do, which is good, but it also leads to being very quick to collecting and working on things very intently, which then causes us to need a whole bunch of things and then put a lot of investment into it. So it takes a lot of effort and time. But I'm glad to do what I do. That's another corner done. I'm going to take a quick sip of my tea. If you are a tea drinker, feel free to take a sip with me, or if you're just drinking water, that's also fine. Whatever drinks you end up drinking, Cheers. Alright. Well, thank you. It is really good tea. I very much enjoy it. It is an herbal tea, pomegranate and raspberry flavor by Twinings. It's quite delightful. Oh, I have to make 6 of these squares and then a like half a square one, so like 6.5 squares of for this project. So, and each square, after measuring it to my form, is about 17 rows of all the way around square. So, currently I am working on row 9 of this square. And I have one completed square here. I still have to like weave in the ends, and I'm going to do some blocking, which is basically you wet it and then you roll it up, squish it out, and let it dry so that the stitches are a little looser, more flowy, and then I'll sew these all together. So yeah, this is about the size of each square that I need to make. And my goal is to have this done by the 31st. So I'm making this dress, and I'm also going to be making like a scarf or cowl in like a cream color to match the Eevee Pokemon design too. So I want to try to get this dress done before the end of the month. Yeah, it takes a lot, and sometimes like it affects me because I'll be sitting here and then I'll suddenly lose a stitch, and I'm like, I promise I know what I'm doing. I'm just talking at the same time. And luckily, this particular pattern has a lot of repetition, so it's easier to focus on things as long as I am maintaining the same stitches over and over again. Because once you start getting into more of the complicated stitches, forget about it. I have a really hard time talking while doing that. It's impossible. But luckily, this is basically the same stitch over and over and over again until I hit the corners. And then from there, it looks a little different. And from there, I sometimes slow down and try to process what I'm saying and process what I'm doing at the same time. But then, like, the part along the edges is the easiest because it's just nonstop the same thing over and over again. Makes it easy to watch shows, talk with people, and other things like that. But it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. Oh, yeah. And yeah, as I'm going through it, you can kind of tell that I'll sit and I'll say something, and then I'll lose track of what I'm saying, and then I slow down in order to remember what it is I'm about to say, because it does take some concentration to get it done. But yeah. It's not easy for most people to talk and do that. But I've also been doing crochet and knitting yarn stuff, basically, off and on since I was about 8 years old. And it helps to have the almost muscle memory with some of these things. So that does help. But I still have moments where I can't do too much multitasking here. Alright. Last corner is done. Time for the next bit, and then we'll hopefully be done with row 9 soon. No, I totally get that. Normally I'm the same way. It's really difficult to keep up a conversation while doing something at the same time. I think the only thing I can do that with is crochet or knitting, depending on the pattern, and driving. That's the only time that I can do two things at the same time without something messing up, because it takes so much effort sometimes. So you're definitely not alone in that. It's a lot. But yeah, luckily it does help to focus on specifically crafting things with my hands if I am able to talk to people. Oh no, 1 second. I think my cat's trying to come in. 1 moment. Is that it? Oh, hang on. Never mind. She was scratching, but she ran off, so all's good. Show us cat. I would, unfortunately she ran off. I do have one cat, and she likes to drop in, especially on this stream, a lot. So next Tuesday you'll see her probably at some point during the stream. She stream bombed earlier because she has a tendency to come in and out of this room. She gets offended whenever my door is closed, and so she acts like it's a capital offense against her if I close the door, and so she'll get mad, and then she'll come over and scratch until I let her in, and then she's like, okay, let me back out again. As cats do. I'll probably try to get a glimpse of her if she comes and photobombs the stream again. It's specifically this one too that she really likes to step in on, because I stream a couple times a week, so she is around, right? It's offensive. It's offensive that to keep the door closed on her, right? I can't have any privacy. She owns this house. That's just how it is. It's funny though. She'll try to pull the same shenanigans on my roommates, but my roommates are like, "No, you don't own my room," and so I have to constantly remind her, "No, you don't own their room too. You can own the main living space, and you can own my room. You cannot own the rooms that these two are also dealing with." But hopefully that won't be a problem much longer, because we are planning on moving soon. So once we get to the new place, she'll have free reign of the place, and she'll totally have not feel like that she is taking over a space that isn't actually hers. Because, yeah, that can be a problem, especially because she's a very vocal kitty. She gets very loud and will let you know that she finds something wrong with whatever it is that you're doing that day. So, yeah. Last corner done. Now I just have to join the round together. Almost there. Not sure if I'll be able to work on the other projects that I have tonight, but we'll see. I'm gonna give it until like half past this upcoming hour to see if maybe I can get this completely done. And then maybe I'll spend the next hour after that working on the gloves. I just want to try to get as much of this done because this one is definitely on a tighter deadline than the gloves. So I want to put as much into this one as possible. Ooh. Nope, messed up there. That's fine. Not too bad. Now I just slip stitch here. I'm gonna lurk now, still have some stuff to finish, but leave the stream. Awesome! I'll try to let you know when she gets here. I'll try to announce it very loud and very intensely so that you don't miss her. Thank you for being around though, and I hope that everything works out with the stuff that you need to finish, and that I can be a good background noise for you. Okay. This is 9 rows done. Thank goodness. 9 rows. Only 8 more to go. I can do this, I believe. This is starting to get flat, which is a good sign. Well, awesome. It's been very eventful. I can't believe I've already hit 10 followers. I'm so happy. It was a wonderful gift to be given today. Now I'll have to come up with a new goal to set up. I'll probably set that up later offline so that I can just focus mostly on this. And then I do plan on working on my profile more to make sure that it's more interactive, more fun, more of an aspect that, I don't even know what I'm saying, more interactive for people that are following me so that everyone can have fun with it. But at least for today, I'll probably do that later this week or tomorrow or something along those lines. I got a few things I have to figure out, clearly. But that's okay. I'm working on it. Always something to do with this world, isn't there? I am a very busy person, just in general. But I mean, what can I say? I like the challenge of having a deadline like this. It keeps me from going insane. It may seem like I'm going insane, but honestly, no more insane than normal. And this gives me something I can focus on for a short period of time at least. Boom, boom. Well, we'll see. Maybe she'll stop in sooner rather than later. Uh, she usually drops through the stream pretty consistently because, specifically on Tuesdays, I'm not sure why, specifically today. Maybe it's because she knows that there's a camera going or something, and she knows that she's the star, but that's okay. And each row is also going to be progressively longer to finish because I am adding stitches every time I do this. And it is increasingly more difficult to get everything done. But if I finish it, if I work until 1/2 past, because it's at the top of the hour now, if I finish by 1/2 past, even if I don't complete all 17 rows, it might be a smart idea to switch over to the other project just to add a little bit more onto that as well, because it's been a hot minute since I last worked on it, and I probably should work on it a little bit more, but at least I can say that I've worked on this for like an hour and a half, because this was what I started off with, and I'm going to continue with this as often as I can. So yeah, I'll probably finish off with a I'll probably finish off with the gloves and work at least like an hour on those before I end stream today. Because I stream on Tuesdays, I try to stream like 2.5 hours to make sure that I get as much time doing this as possible before I call it a night. That'll be good. If I can get this square finished by the end of the week, I'll feel pretty good. I should have plenty of time to work on it. It shouldn't be a problem. Let's see. I do have some chocolate. I'll probably have a square of chocolate or like a cup of chocolate before I transition over to the next project. Because I deserve it, because I have been working very hard on this, even when I mess up like that. I have already added on a couple of rows, so that helps. I try to work on these pretty consistently too. So even off stream, I'm working on it, and it helps to sit and watch a show while doing it. But 2.5 hours of doing this almost non-stop is also very effective. And luckily, since we're going into spooky season, I get to watch some spooky movies while I am working on this, especially since this is a Halloween costume. It's probably a good idea to get into the vibe of the season. Yes, I am one of those people that starts preparing for Halloween in especially September, but sometimes August as well. Depends on the year. Like I started this, I think, the last week or so of August. Um, but yeah, I had to figure out how to do the pattern first, and then it's funny because the pattern is in Finnish, right? Because it's a Finnish designer. She made the pattern free on Ravelry so that people can utilize it, but it is also in Finnish. She doesn't have an English version of it, so I went to Google Translate to translate it while I looking at the pictures and stuff. And luckily, she has a lot of pictures that kind of show step by step the process. Otherwise, I would be so lost as to what to do. Um, but she posted it on there in Finnish, and when I translate it, it translates very weird in Google Translate because a lot of languages translate weird in Google Translate. It can work, it definitely can, but it also makes it difficult to translate over because it just does um, it primarily does direct translation, which doesn't translate to what they mean by when they say it or the context of it. So when she was like, oh, she wrote down 15 levels, and I'm like, 15 levels? What does 15 levels mean? But I've taken that to mean rows. And then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But the instructions are very minimal. So I've been mostly relying on the pictures, which has been helpful. And luckily, I have a pretty good grasp of crochet knowledge to know what it is that I'm doing. And luckily, it's not a super complicated thing to work on. Patch 165. Hello. Yo, what's good? How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. How is it? How is life? How are you doing? First time chat. It's awesome for you to be here. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. This has been a process, though. I've been working really hard on this. I'm good. I've been working on a project for 8 hours now. Ooh, 8 hours on a project. You'll have to tell me all about it. I'm excited to hear. I'm doing decently. I have been working on this project since the start of the stream, and I am making some good progress. I'm thinking at the 30 mark for time, at the half past time, I'm probably going to switch over to another project before I call it a day just to do something different. But I also might just work on this the entire time. I don't know yet. What kind of project are you working on? Tell me all about it. Because I always love hearing what people are doing with their time. It's a great way to be motivated and kind of feel the creative flow and energy, or even if it's just getting productivity done and working on a lot of things. But 8 hours is a long time to be working on a project, especially I'm guessing in one day. So that's awesome. It takes a lot of time and effort to get that done. Alright, another corner done. I mean, if you want to know, well, as you're typing, I'll love to hear what you're working on and everything. I'll celebrate with you. I am currently working on my Halloween costume for this year. First time in a lot while that I am actually dressing up because life gets in the way, things happen, and then I just don't know what to be for Halloween most years and stuff. So I finally put my foot down and decided I'm going to be Eevee, the Pokemon. And so what I'm doing is I'm making a dress that is matching up the colors, and then I'm going to pair it with a cowl or like a scarf of some sort that's fluffy to match the neck fur that she has, that the Eevee has. Maybe I'll also make like a headband or a scarf to represent the ears, and then I'm just dressing up in similar kind of colors and things like that so that the vibe is there. And on the dress, there's also going to be a button, and I've decided that because I want it to be more on the nose so people won't question what it is based on the more, I guess, what you call it, the more abstract of a costume it will be. The button is going to be a Pokeball, so that people will have no issue understanding that this is Eevee the Pokemon. So, real fast. I do perler beads, also called Hama beads. Ooh! But I'm currently working on a Minecraft animation project, and it's one of the clan's banners, and the clan is the Frostborn. That is so cool. I don't think I've ever heard of Hama beads or perler beads. Maybe I have. Let me do a quick search. Perler beads. Oh, I see. Yeah, I know of perler beads. I haven't worked with them in a very long time. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. And then you're working on a Minecraft animation project. That's really awesome. That's so cool. I love to hear about that. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm glad that I can keep you company while you work on that, unless you're taking a break and so you're watching me work, or if you want to get back into work, you can. Or you can just chill. All is good. But yes, let me just show off because I haven't shown you the dress yet. This is the dress that I'm currently working on. So it is this beautiful asymmetrical dress, and it has no sleeves, and yeah, all the squares that I'm making I'm going to sew together, or I'm going to like do a slip stitch or something like that to match them together. And then over here, since it's a wrap dress, you can see there's a button. The person who created it made it into a flower, but I am going to do the Pokeball right there. And since it's asymmetrical, it kind of looks like a tail at the end of it. And because of that, at the tail part, as you can see here, at the asymmetrical part down here, I'm going to put some of the cream that I am going to be doing for the neck cowl to match Eevee, the color scheme. So, beautiful. Yeah, it very much is. Luckily, it's a free pattern, and I'm so happy to be working on it. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Doing perler beads and making animation, that's really cool. I've never been into like making animation, but I love people that get into making animation. Animated films, animated shorts, animated series. I have a lot of favorites in that category, whether that's American style or digital. It's based off of the animation. Ooh. I'm not doing the animation. Gotcha. Okay, my bad. But you're doing a project working based off of the clan's banners for Frostborn. Okay. I know of Minecraft and I know a little bit of the lore. I am not as familiar as some people, but I can appreciate the hard work that goes into it. So you're doing a perler bead banner of the Frostborn flag, is what I'm gathering. Which is awesome. Because that, my guess is, you're probably making that a pretty sizable flag, right? Kind of a large piece. You're probably planning on hanging it up somewhere. How big would you say you're planning on making it? Because I can also see it as like almost like a patch where you would put it on like clothes, but based on the dimensions, which is still pretty big, but it's not huge. Okay, that makes sense from an image. Okay, so a bigger piece, but it's not like something to dangle off of a wall or something. Probably like a pretty decent size. That's really neat. I would love to see that. That would be so cool. Correct. Wonderful, wonderful. Are you hoping to like put it towards something, or are you just doing it just so that you can say you have it, um, just because, you know, it just because is also a reasonable answer for that. Oh, come on, out you get. Woo! Really making for someone, but if I end up liking what it looks like, I'll make one myself. Hey, that makes sense. That does make sense. And especially once you do it right the first time, it makes it a lot easier to do it again, especially getting familiar with it. So I get you. I get you. Well, hopefully they like the end of the project, and hopefully it's all good for them. And then that way everyone's happy in the end. I like making stuff for myself too, especially after I've made something really cool for someone else. It's the best. Oh, awesome. Almost done with this round. Then I can check my progress, see how I'm feeling. Because once I slip stitch this on, I believe that'll be 10 rows. I need 17 to complete this square. Okay, yeah, one more. Alright, let's see. Here's this one. Slip it. Here we go. And boop. Alright, I believe this is 10 rows, which means I only have 7 more to go. Perfect time to take a sip of tea. If anyone would like to join me on sipping tea, water, or other such liquids. Oh my gosh, Patch, thank you so much for the follow. I can't believe it. This is awesome. Oh. And welcome to the community. I'm still new to streaming and stuff, so I haven't set up perfectly the profile or anything like that, but I am working on that little by little. So Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, how incredible. Getting really cool people to join the community and have a fun time overall. Woo. Get some yarn out of that so I can do things. Let's see. It's 4:20 my time, so I have 10 minutes till half past. Now the question is, do I continue with this, or do I work on the gloves that I was also planning on doing? Because I don't have very much on the gloves that I'm also planning on making. This is what I have so far. It's some ridges, making some little points here. I need to work on this a little bit, but this also does not have a strict deadline like this does. So I'm trying to debate of whether or not I should continue with the squares or if I should take a break and work on the gloves that I'm working on. Because this does take a bit, but I haven't worked on it in a hot minute, and I probably should because I want to work on that too. Let's see. I'll take a moment to think, because this is 10 squares, which means I need 10 rows, so I need 7 more rows for this to complete the square. My plan is to finish this by the end of the week, if not sooner, because I have to finish this dress before October 31st, and my goal is to finish this dress on these at the end of this month, on the 30th, because September only has 30 days. And I already have one square done. One square is completely finished. I just have to weave in the ends and then probably block it so that it makes it more stretchy and more malleable for a garment. But I might hold off on blocking it until after I make the dress itself so that I can just dangle it. But this is coming along pretty nicely. So I think trying to decide, do I want to continue with this square and just get as many of this square done, as much of this square done as possible, knowing that I won't be able to work on the gloves on this stream, but I can work on it later? Or do I take a break from this, work on the glove, and then work on other things later? That's a very good question. I think yay, we did so good. I think I'm going to take a break from the square, and I'm going to work a little bit on this glove so that I can get this done, because I haven't worked on this in a hot minute. I should probably work on it, so then I can do a little bit of this and then I'll continue with this later. Yeah, I think I'm making the decision to do so. So I shall get this together, but I did 10 rows of this. I started off at 7, and each row is just going to get substantially longer to work on because I'm adding stitches every corner, which is increasing how many stitches I need to do on a side. So, sounds good. That's a good plan. I'll work on this later. So for now, let's get started on this glove. Like I said, it's not a very strict deadline. I am currently doing a bit with that. Let me get the file going. Gives me enough time to work a little bit on this at least. So, where are my files? There are my files. So this glove is called the Knotty Glove. Knotty spelled K-N-O-T-T-Y. And it is going to turn into this beautiful knitted yarn with cabling along the bottom part, and then a stockinette stitch throughout the rest of it. And this is going to be a surprise for someone at some point in the future. So what I am currently doing is I am working with the program, working with the pattern, I should say. I'm going to make this pattern work for me as I'm working on this. I'm going to make a singular glove to make sure that I am making the correct steps and everything like that. I'm going to finish off the singular glove, and I've got a couple of other gloves to try out because this is a gift to someone from my partner to this person, but their birthday isn't until next year sometime. We've already passed it this year. So I'm trying to make some glove options because they want me to make a pair of gloves, but they don't know what gloves to do. So we're going based on vibes, and then once I make the gloves, once I make a couple of examples for the gloves, then we're going to make a final choice. And I just realized my measuring tape is not where it normally is. Well, that's not good. It's fine. I have a ruler. I can use a ruler if need be. I guess the question is, where's the ruler? I know what I'm doing. I do this all the time. It's fine. I thought I had everything that I needed for this stream, but I think I'm missing a ruler and measuring tape because this part is 6 centimeters. It needs to be 6 centimeters. And I'm not very good at eyeballing. Hold on one moment. I am just going to look around because I'm pretty sure that my measuring tape is up here. But I don't know where I put it. I guess I didn't put it where I thought I did. Where'd it go? That's a very good question. I don't know. Maybe it's over here? Hold on one second, y'all. Haha! You're never gonna believe it. I took one look at exactly where I needed to go. And not only did I find my measuring tape, I also found my cinnamon roll ruler, which would not have done me much good because it is only in inches, not in centimeters. But I found it. It's a really adorable cinnamon roll ruler. I like it. Helps with straight edges. Helps with measuring things. Kind of. It works for what it's supposed to do. But I have my measuring tape, which does centimeters as well as inches. So let's see what we have here. Oh, yep. We're not at 6 centimeters yet. We still have a ways to go. Perfect. This gives me plenty of time to work on this. Luckily, I had some spare black yarn so that I can work on this for a little while. This is going to also be a bit mindless, so I'm just doing purl 2, knit 2 ribbing for a little while, and then it'll be done, and then just have to do this continuously until I hit 6 centimeters. So yay, let's get started. Knitting is always a little bit more, it takes a little bit more concentration, especially to start, especially since I went from crochet to knitting. It sometimes takes me a moment to remember how the stitches work, but I'm very glad when I do recall really easily, and get back into the swing of it. This will be good. Activates almost a different part of the brain, which is nice. Two, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. Plus it's easy to track which stitches I'm on based on how many are on the needle that I'm working on, because it's all even stitches of each, so I don't have to count a specific amount. So pattern recognition is pretty easy, luckily. Woo! Boy. Yeah, like I said, I struggle a little bit of going from crochet to knitting, but I think it's good practice for me to also do that, because it'll give me, if I just keep doing this, it'll make it easier for me to hop between the two while I'm working on different projects. I unfortunately am one of those people that have a lot of projects on the backlog. But I have limited how many I'm working at a time, and then I'm just catching up on them as needed. So I always have something that is crochet and something that is knitting, because they are two separate skills of the same kind of thing, but it's still two separate skills. Not everyone who can crochet can knit, and vice versa. I had a friend when I was a little younger who saw me crocheting and was like, I don't understand, I can only knit. And then I had another friend later on in life that was like, I don't know how you can knit, I can only crochet. And I get it, I do. It does take a lot of skills to go between the two of them, and takes a lot of concentration to remember how the stitches go, but it just works out. It works out that way. Plus I just love working with yarn, so it helps me out a lot to know multiple ways to do this. Hey cats, how's it going? Go eat the yarn. What yarn are you eating? That's not a good idea. That's not the right kind of fiber. That's the wrong kind of fiber. That's not good for your gut health. Let me just quickly finish this. I've been working on my Halloween costume for the year for a while, and then decided that since I've been working on it for about an hour and a half, and then I decided to go start working on these gloves. This glove, I should say. As a cat, I yearn to consume, more so the stuff I am not allowed to eat. That's accurate, especially as a cat. I don't know why you have it in your system to do that, but you do. And scratch on things that you know you're not supposed to scratch on. And perch in the weirdest places. That's how you are. That's how most cats are. 2, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. Keeping good track. I'm gonna do that again. Well, unfortunately, you cannot consume this yarn. It's in the middle of working a project for me, so you may not ingest. I have other yarn if you want, but none of this one. But of course, because I'm working on this one, that's the one that you're going to want to eat. Shall employed pity. She dropped in on my stream earlier before anyone came. So, but she always seems to like to interrupt Tuesday streams the most. I'm not sure if she realizes that that she can be on camera when she does it, or if it's just timing and it's just an odd coincidence. But yeah, she seems to love to drop in on Tuesday streams especially. She knows. She is a very smart kitty. Very wise. She probably understands exactly what it is that she's doing, and she knows that she is already a star. Yeah. She might drop in again today because later today because she has a tendency to come in and out pretty quickly and pretty frequently during Tuesday streams, so y'all might see her again. But she's been awfully quiet. Maybe she's cuddling with someone. It is getting colder. Eddie, scream! Haha, she can't hear you. She's not close enough to hear you. You better use that telepathy to try to activate her screams. Doing pretty good here. Almost a full round done already. Making good progress. I'll do a quick little show off of what I'm working on in just a moment once I finish with this round. Because it's fun. Alright. One round done. Let's see. That's definitely not increased it by much, but it's something. Yep, we're just at 3 centimeters. We need to go up to 6. What I'm currently working on, if you haven't seen, It's this glove. I'm making a singular glove of this to try out to see if I like the pattern and how easy it would be to make the second glove in customized colors. It's called the Naughty Glove. It's got these nice cables on it, and then it continues on into a nice set of gloves there. This is a technically commissioned work that once I go through a couple of glove options, we're going to decide on which glove we like best and then choose colors to go with that. And then the other one that I'm working on, the actual project, is a Finnish design called the Asymmetrinen Helma, which is an asymmetrical dress. And this is for my Halloween costume. This is the dress that I'm making, and I'm going as Evie for Halloween. So I am doing this in a dark taupe, which is like a nice dark, like grayish brown. And in order to make this dress, I have to make a bunch of squares and then either slip stitch them, sew them, or something. And currently, I've made one full one. So this is one that is going for the pattern. Nice full square, 17 rows. And then I also worked on the second one most of the stream. And I've gotten this up to 10 rows so far. And I need 17 rows in order to make it match the other one. I need to make 6 of these squares. So I've already got done one, so I need to make 5 more. And then I need to make a, not quite a full square, but like a square to go to the back. And then I get to make a button that goes onto the dress. And the button is going to look like a Pokeball instead of the flower that she uses on the design. So it'll be really neat once I'm done with that. But I worked on that square. It started at 7 rows, now it's at 10 rows, and I needed a break to move on to something else. So I am working on this other glove, real fast to try and get a little bit of work done on it, even though I should probably work more on my costume, but I needed a short break from that, and I'll probably continue on that later. I'll try to finish that square by like the end of the week because I'm trying to get that done by September, because by the end of September, because I want to have the next month to work on the shawl, cowl, scarf that I'm going to be making with the cream colors in order to look like the fluff on the Evie's neck, the fur. So that's the plan. But for now, I am going to be doing more of this. I need to get this little ridge stuff up to 6 centimeters before I move on to the next step of the pattern. So I shall continue. Well, it was really cool. A couple of people stopped by. One is still lurking, I believe. Maybe the other one is too. One of them has done a little bit of pottery and some other fun crafts like that. And then another person has been working on a perler bead project that is of a Minecraft clan banner that they're making for someone, and then if they like it enough, they might make one for themselves too, which is really cool. I don't know very many people that do perler beads. I had to look them up to make sure I knew what they were talking about, but I've seen them before. I've never really worked with them, or if I did, it was like a very long time ago, which was really cool. It was really nice. But yes. Woo. Get that. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Just making sure I'm on the right stitch for the next set. Luckily, this is a little bit more mindless, but it's taking me a lot longer because I was going from crocheting to knitting, which always takes a moment for me to get done. Was ist das? Did I hear a noise against my door? Or am I just imagining things? Because I am prone to do that. Oh, that sounds like a kitty. Let me just double check. 1 second. I guess not. Right off again. Maybe she won't make another appearance, which makes me laugh, but is sad at the same time because I know that she would be beloved. I should probably do some emotes for her or something like that, of like a screaming itty bitty. I'm sure she'll love that. Let me quickly, before I continue on with this round, drink some tea. I think I'm down to the last gulp of tea. Cheers. Make sure you're drinking water or tea or something to at least have some form of hydration. It's a good idea. Alright. Perfect. Lovely. Just move a little closer in so that it's easier to work on this. Boop, bada, boo. Here we go. Gasoline. What a great choice of liquid to drink, I guess. Good on you, mate. That seems like a brilliant idea. So hydrating. Just keeps your engine running. I'll probably be working on this. Who knows? I might not even be able to move on past these 6 centimeters by the end of the night. But that's okay. That's okay if that's the case. I do not mind. But there we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. Sometimes you just have to double check, make sure that it's the right amount of stitches because you forget how to count. And I say that and then I forget how to count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. That happens. Purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Yes. I thought I was going crazy. My bad. I just had to make sure I was on the right count. But yeah. Since this glove isn't going to take too long, I'm basically just going to make the one side and then I'm going to work on the other patterns that I have set up. And then once I make a decision, slash if my partner makes a decision, because this is technically a commission for them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, Pearl knit, pearl knit, pearl knit, pearl knit. Okay. Then they'll choose which design, and then we'll go pick out the yarn specific to what it is that they want made. And see what we do with that. Oh man, I'm feeling hungry though. It is about dinner time. Well, I plan on working on this until 1/2 past, it'll be 5 my time. So, like in the next half an hour, I'll finish up. It's always funny as I am doing these streams because every time I work on them, I know that there's someone watching the videos being like, how are you doing that? This doesn't make any sense. Because my partner gets so confused by how I make this work. And they're like, I'll be sitting there on the couch next to them, we're watching something, and I'm knitting or crocheting, and I will look up and see them just studying my hands, like, how do you do it? Sense on the internet. Sense in general. Apparently physicists don't know how to deal with knitting. Like, they don't understand how it works. Like, most people seem to, whenever I'm doing the work, they're like, how are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, sense on the internet, just, that's true, there is no sense on the internet. I finally got what you were putting down. My bad. Thanks, 8, 10. Took me a second to get there. I got there. I'm focused, I can't help it. I'm a little slow. Don't make me think too hard. This is not the time to get philosophical. Or maybe it is the perfect time to get philosophical. I don't know. Oh, neat. I didn't know you used to knit. That's awesome. Yeah. It can be confusing for people that have never done it before, I guess. I've been knitting and crocheting off and on since I was 8, so I have a pretty firm understanding about how it works. I used to do a lot of things. That's a vibe. I totally get that. I do. I've limited down how many things I've had to do that I can do in a time frame, but I'm also learning a lot of new, really neat skills at the same time. So that does help. The ridges are looking really nice. I'm actually very happy with how it's going so far. It's actually coming off rather clean. Yeah, no, I feel that. There's a lot of things that we all used to do, and then we just stopped doing them and stuff. I haven't gotten back to a few things that I used to do when I was younger, but I'm learning new skills that I feel like are more aligned with what I want out of my life rather than just because. But just because is also a reasonable answer for most people. Never wrong with having hobbies that you just do just because rather than for anything in particular. And then once I'm done with the stream, I'll be able to have dinner, which is awesome. I wonder what will be made. If worst comes to worst, I have a gluten-free, dairy-free burrito in the freezer I can just heat up. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, okay, 12. Spaghetti. It might be spaghetti. We have gluten-free noodles, which is nice. I hope that we didn't run out of them. Whoops. Spaghetti. Get the spaghetti. Triggering some sounds coming out of me. If anyone is confused, I have sensory issues. I am neurospicy. So I sometimes will just make noises because I decide to. But I don't decide to, like, consciously. It's a subconscious decision. Perfect. And I'm actually... This is some really good chocolate stuff. So this is 35% cacao, and it's got sunflower butter and chocolate. It's allergy friendly. Hi.
Chocolate?
Yeah, do you want chocolate?
Yes.
Okay, you can have one. It's gluten free, it's dairy free, and it has very little sugar in it. But it tastes really good. It tastes like almost like if Reese's Pieces had like a darker chocolate variety. Don't mind that. That was the child coming in and taking over the stream for a moment. I'm just gonna do a quick bite because I deserve it. Try not to make this an ASMR feeding channel because we don't be needing that. I was contemplating eating it earlier, but I figured it would be better to do it closer to the 2-hour mark because I would have done so much work during that time, which I have. I have done a lot of work during that time. Even if I lost my measuring tape. I shall arm the child with knowledge on how to take over Rome. Yeah, I'm sure they'll love that. And they'll love to hear all the information on how to take over things. At this point, I'm just like, as long as, you know, you're not actively being a terrible person. Whatever you decide to do with your spare time is completely up to you. They're actually very much enjoying the homeschool life right now. They get to wake up at a reasonable hour, do things, and then get lots of breaks where it's a lot more freeing. And they don't deal with the issues that they've been dealing with other people for a while. 6, 8. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Just making sure. Because I wasn't sure if that was correct. Yay. It's funny too. I watched a video earlier, like a couple days ago, about, what was it, Hank Green, and he was talking about how physicists were trying to utilize knitting for a bunch of stuff, right? But here's some, I don't despise Hank Green by any means of, like, I don't think that he's a bad person or anything. I think he's an informed person. I just don't think he's a very well-informed person. Like, he has a lot of very minimal knowledge on stuff, but more than that, he's doesn't really have that. Because he did a whole video about knitting and stuff, but he kind of made it very much about, oh, we can actually use something with this, when it's like, but we've been using it for things for so many years. Don't make this a problem, my dude. But yeah, part of that is me realizing, wow, you are really not being kind to your audience who are actively creators, especially in like the knitting or crochet community, talking the way that you do, but also diminishing the value of learning these skills. And then it also made me realize on how much, you know, I need to still unlearn from years of being told anti-feminine, not quite anti-feminine, but like anti-feminist and like other things like that. And I was like, why didn't I pick up on that earlier? But then I remembered, oh yeah, I grew up being told that that was kind of how people talk to you. And I'm like, oh, great. Right. That's not a great thing, but I'm learning. Oh no, I slipped. It's okay. I fixed it. I fixed it before it became a problem. That happens sometimes. Let's see. Yay, it's the top of the hour, basically. So I'm just gonna be going for another, what, 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, so I have some time to do like the outro without taking up too much time. So yay. And I do plan on getting a document scanner so that this looks a lot more clean, and it's not just my phone angled in a weird apparatus that I created to hold it so that I can use my hands. I do plan on getting a relatively cheap overhanging kind of camera that also has a light and stuff like that, which will be a lot more helpful. But I have to save up for it, basically. And in this economy, it takes a lot longer to save up for things than I was expecting. But hey, we're getting there. I shall get there. It'll be fine. Alright, that's another round done. I think I'll do at least another round, and then we'll see how we're feeling. Maybe I'll end the stream after another round. Let's do a measurement real fast. I do like how this is looking. It's very nice. Don't do that. Awesome. We're almost at 4 centimeters. We're like just a like quarter centimeter shy. We're getting there. We started at just under 3 centimeters, so that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I'm guessing that child is basically done with most of the things that they needed to do today, except for probably chores, but that's okay if that's the only thing that they haven't done, or one of the only things that they haven't done yet. Because they tend to finish their school day off pretty early in the morning, and then they take lots of breaks, and then we do the supplemental stuff, and then they're also trying to start their own business, so good for them. So there's a little bit of time delegated to that, and then they do some chores just to make sure that they upkeep the house. And then, depending on when we move, which hopefully will be soon, You gotta get everything figured out for that. It'll be easier to delegate different chores with them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. So we'll just do another one. But yes, we'll see what else is happening. I do plan on setting up a Ko-fi page specifically for the headscarves that I have, but probably for other things too as I create and stuff, plus any other things related to the streaming and uploading of videos and other fun stuff for that. But that is a project that I will be working on in the future. I do also have to get some art done for the channel, I guess, and then also get some emote stuff going. I'm still in the beginning stages, so getting everything set up is taking a while, but we're getting there, you know. I'm working on it. I got some good advice, so that'll help for sure. I'm just gonna pull you tighter because that's a very loose stitch. I didn't know why it was going to be that loose. Nope, stay. Sometimes when you talk and knit, it makes it a little harder. Especially if you've been crocheting for a good chunk of time. Completely different set of skills. Different brain. Number 6. Yeah, perfect. We're on track. Hi. Although this is not doing wonders for my back, I should probably figure out a better way to set up my back. Oh, that sounds like the kitty. Kitty. Hi. I'll have her come up and say hi before she leaves. Just because, like I said, she always stops by on this stream. Hi. Come here. I'm the kitty of CBMs. Oh no. Alright, I know one of my lurkers is probably going to be interested in seeing what happens next. Because we got a kitty. There's a paw. There's a face. You want to say hi? This is the itty bitty. She owns the house. She's the head of house. Hi, Necro. It's glad to have you stop by. Kitty, kitty. She says hi. Oh, code to check if you're watching. Here's Kitty. I know that you said you were lurking to see Kitty, so. She says moo. She does say moo. She speaks a lot. She's a very talkative kitty. Yeah, and you came to say hi. Mwah. Meow. Okay, I'll let you go. Are you gonna leave the room or are you gonna stay here? Meow. Okay, I'll put you down. Oh. So sweetheart. What a great name for a cat. Oh, I love that. Yeah, this one, Itty Bitty, she is a very vocal cat. She will tell you everything. You ready to go out? Okay, there you go. Have fun. I'll see you later. Oh, yeah, she's a great kitty. Yeah, I love her. She's great. She's a lot. She's very vocal. She's very all over, but we love her. Another one has no meow, but he sure tries. Aw, that sounds so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's adorable. Is it like physically can't meow, or is it more of like the meow is there but it's not quite the same? Because not every cat meows the same, at least as far as I can tell. Yes, her Beans. She is a very beloved kitty. We all love her. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, perfect. I'm on the right track. Yeah, I think I'll finish up this round, and then we'll see how we're feeling. It'll probably be about time. It'll probably be about time when I'm done with this. We'll do a final measure, and then I'll probably wrap it up. I don't think he's figured it out just yet. He's a little slow. Aww. Oh, well, that's a beloved kitty right there. Give them all the love, all the kisses, all the affection. Because they're trying. They're trying hard. They just are a little slow. It's okay. I am a little slow too, but in different regards. Get that straightened out. His name is Chunky, and he's a well-behaved... Chunky, that's another great name. I love that. Aww. I love cats, I love dogs, I love animals in general, so anytime someone's like, this is my animal, I'm just like, oh, I love them. I love them already. Except dolphins. I don't like dolphins. But that's for reasonable, understanding reasons. I just don't like dolphins. The people who know, and the people who don't, I fear for when you research why people won't like dolphins. We have 9 cats, 2 mamas, and there's 7 heathen, and children. Wow, 9 cats, that's crazy. I love that for you, though. That's so great. I'm sure it does not get tiresome in the house. There's so many. That's so many cats. I love that for you. We only have the one, and luckily, we'd actually rescued her from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. We rescued her a couple years ago. She was my ex's girlfriend's cat, but she couldn't have the cat in the house when she moved because of, situations. And so she left it behind with family, and the family kept her as an outside cat, and then didn't really give her much anything. And then we had a big freeze, and she was so scared that she wasn't going to be safe, and so she asked us to take her in. So we did, because no cat's going to freeze on our watch. And she's been with us ever since, and she is a lovable character in the permanence of our household. And we're going to see if she's actually friendly with other cats, or if she's going to be too territorial to have another cat around. Because if she ends up being friendly with other cats, we might get another one after we move, obviously. But we'll see. Maybe she'll just be an only cat for a little while still. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's see. That is the final stitch I think I'm going to be doing tonight, because it is 15 minutes and I'm ending the stream in 15 minutes, and this gives me some time to just see where I'm at and go over everything that we've done. I'll be glad when the critters around here start hibernating, getting real tired to chasing off possums and raccoons. Ah, yep, I get you there. Oh, awesome. We're about 4.5 centimeters here. Yeah, we have a woodchuck that lives on our French porch right now. We're getting close to done. Alright. This is looking good. Ugh. No, I totally feel that. It's gonna be great. So, eventful stuff. I worked on this glove for about like an hour 15 minutes. No, like an hour. It's been about an hour. And we're doing really good on the ridges. This is the bottom part of the glove. So, when it stretches, you can see the fabric between them. It's looking pretty good. I'm just making one glove of this so that I can try it. This is the Knotty Gloves, spelled Knotty, by Lisa Mueller. Let me get the picture up. So it's going to end up looking like this guy. So I'm only doing one glove so that we can see if we like this glove for a set to make for someone that we're going to be doing their birthday present. And luckily I have until March, April, or May, one of the spring months next year for them. And you can see there's cabling, and then there's stockinette stitch all the way through. So once that's done, then that will be done. So that's one of the patterns I'm trying. So I'm making the right hand to see if we like it. And if we like it, then I'll make a full set. If we don't, there's a couple of other patterns I want to try out. So we made that. And then the other project I was working on tonight is my Halloween costume for the year. And what I'm doing for my Halloween costume is I'm doing Eevee, the Pokemon, but I'm not doing just a traditional Eevee like outfit. I am making a dress, and then I'm gonna have like a cowl or like a shawl or some sort of neck, like a scarf or something like that, that is going to be fluffy and match the colors. So the dress that I chose is called the Asymmetrinen Helma by Virpi Marjana Zira, which is a Finnish dress, and this is the pattern for that. It is a beautiful dress, obviously, and it's going to be really nice once it all comes together. I'm basically just making that, and this is going to be the base. I got it in the color Dark Taupe, which is like a grayish brown, similar to Eevee coloring. And what is nice about this pattern is that it requires a bunch of squares, and then you basically sew or slip stitch them all together to make the dress. Currently, I have one full square made. I need 6 of these and then a half square. So basically 6.5 squares that I need to make. I have one, and then for the stream, I worked on the second one, which I have done 10 rows on, and I need to do 17 total before this one's done. My hope is that I can get most of this dress done before September. Before the end of September, I should say. The glove, I just worked on it because I needed to take a break from this because I've done so much on it already. But it's looking good. I'm really liking it. So both of these have actually gone over well. And then I got to meet some wonderful people as well, and I met my follower goal of 10 followers, now over that for 11 followers total, which is amazing. I'm so excited to be a part of this and getting into this. It's so cool. I am incredibly grateful and excited to continue with this and see what comes up. I've got some really cool ideas. And I do plan on working on, especially this, off stream. I might work a little bit on the glove, but I also have other patterns and other things that I'm working on too. So I'm just trying to delegate and work around that. But this one has more of a time crunch, so this is the primary one that I'm working on. But yeah, this is great. This is great. We did a lot of work today. That was, I basically worked most, if not the entire time that we've been on stream. So I feel really good about that. Thank you everyone for being here. Keep an eye out. I should be able to have a Ko-fi page available soon where I will not only show off clips and you can donate and other things like that properly, but I'm also trying to sell these headscarves. I'm not selling these particular ones, but I'm going to be selling headscarves like these, where these are headscarves made by Sunflower Cottage Crochet, which I've gotten permission from her. She says I can sell physical products, but I will be making headscarves like this in the future to sell to people. So I will be posting those on the Ko-fi page when I get that up and running, as well as any other fun crochet and knit ideas that I will be putting up as well. This is actually the headscarf, this pink one, that I wore to Ren Fair last weekend. I created this in like half a day's time, which was a lot of fun, and I really loved it. I love it so much. But I think we're going to call it there because I am hungry. I am getting ready to go have some dinner and enjoy time with my family and everything like that before I call it a night. Thank you everyone for being here. For my schedule, tomorrow I will be doing my TTRPG stream, which I am building a TTRPG system from scratch, so I will be working on that actively tomorrow in the evening, about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 7:30, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. So that's like 2.5 to 3 hours of streaming of me working on this project. Everyone's welcome. And then the following streams will be Mondays. I do productivity streams, usually in the morning. I might do it a little later in the day, depending on interest in joining me on that, where I just work on a bunch of things that I need to do during the day because I'm a busy person. I have so much I have to do in a day, and it helps me sit down and work on things that I need to sit at my desk and work on. So that does help. And then I can see you all again next Tuesday about the same time as I am working on crochet, knitting, weaving, other sorts of crafting with my hands on stream. Probably most of it for at least the next little bit is me working on my Halloween costume because that is a big project, and other smaller projects on top of that as well. So, thank you all for being here. It was good to see everyone. I'm so glad to have the interaction that I did. Everyone is very lovely. And I will see you when I see you next time. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye! Bye-bye. Have fun. Pickles Cage. Woo! As the cat says, Pickles Cage.